This is the second part of a series of 4 demos about DigiFund Manager. This part deals with the settings, data collection and watchlist configuration. These are the parts to get the program ready for configuring a game plan. Just click on Start, look for the Enter Ergodics folder, click on it and click the program icon, which is a bull's head. DigiFund Manager opens for 5 seconds on its main tab, showing our logo. After 5 seconds the program jumps to the next step, data collection. The program shows 2 ribbons. The upper ribbon shows 4 menus: File, Data Provider, Broker and Tax, and Help. The lower ribbon shows 4 tabs: Main, Data Collection, Watch Lists, and Game Plan. In order to configure a game plan, a user is advised to quickly go from left to right through the 2 ribbons. In each menu and tab, he should decide on making any changes in the input entries, scanning them from top to bottom. Let us first go through the top ribbon from left to right, which enables us to input all sorts of settings in the 4 menus. Let us first click on File. This reveals 3 submenus: System Settings, Backup Restore, and Exit. By clicking on System Settings, the user may adapt some of the entries to his personal choices or circumstances. Examples are the entries of the number of weeks of smoothing in the volatility curve, which is set at 14, and you can set that to any number. And you can set the number of days in the average daily trading liquidity, which is set at 20, and which you also can set at any number. Since we are not going to save the changes, we click Cancel twice. Cancel, cancel. The second submenu is Backup Restore. Here it is. We use backup before we change from data provider. Databases using different data providers are different. Backup enables a user to save the database with the data of the current provider. I'll show you shortly how to do that when we are at the menu Data Provider. Restoring a database is used when one wants to return to a previously backuped database. One can compare practically instantly the performances of the same game plan using historical data from different data providers by using the restore function. This gives a unique insight in what differences in historical data between providers cause game plans to vary in their risks and rewards. A detailed explanation can be found in the manual. This manual can be found under Help, which is the 4th menu and last menu. We now click the Backup Restore menu away and move to Data Provider. Let me do that. This menu shows the current provider, which is CSI. When you want to change from provider, click on Change. A submenu pops up indicating the file locations of the present provider. Click Yahoo and follow the screen instructions. So I click Yahoo and I should click Apply to follow the screen instructions. But we are not going to click Apply. We click Cancel and then Discard Changes. Cancel and Discard Changes. Before changing from data provider, first you should back up your data. I'll show you now how to do that under the File menu. Over here. Go to the submenu Backup Restore, which I just did, and click Backup. Here I do it. I click Backup, and you can enter a comment for this backup. I click OK, and here the new backup shows up as the top row. We now click the Backup Restore menu away and move to the 3rd menu in the top ribbon. So clicking it away and click on Broker and Tax. That allows us to input the broker fees and dividend tax. Let us input the broker fee over here. So those are the transaction costs, say $7.50. Let's input the borrowing cost at 0.7%, and let us set the dividend tax at 15%. In addition, one can input the initial margin requirement and the so-called share collateral ratio, both set at 100%. The ratio equals the percentage of the value of the long positions that can be used for the combined borrowed stock value of your short positions. By default it is set at 100%, but in practice it usually varies per stock from 50 to 70%. One should then input an average. After having filled in your broker and tax settings to your own personal circumstances, click OK. So let's do that, and you can give your new broker or your own new broker a new name like this one and save the settings. There I go. You may build up a list of various brokers with your own settings. Here you see the list. And you can click the one you want. Let's move to the default settings and then click OK. So I go to the default settings and click OK. We are now ready to move to the fourth and the last menu in the top ribbon, Help. Clicking on Help enables one to open the manual. Here I do it. Go to our home page or show the version settings. I click on home page. Since our site is presently under construction, I log in with my credentials and click Login. We then wait for our home page to appear and click it away again, because this is our home page, and I click it away. We are now ready to look through the Data Collection tab. At the Data Collection tab, let your eyes scan slowly through the three columns of this tab. The left column shows the download status of all stocks. Today is February 22, so we were already scheduled for a download 9 days ago. That is why you get a reminder in red. A necessary update is only required before the Monday that your game plan is set to rebalance. This rebalancing may be at every week, multiple of weeks, quarter, or even once a year. At the bottom of this column, one finds the Update button. It's over here. We may want to update for new IPOs and for possible changes in the members of the S&P 500. One may choose to select those two items and click Update, which I'm going to do now. Okay. Here's the update screen, the data collection screen from CSI. The CSI update process consists of two parts. First, the secure download from CSI to our local PC. Second, the transfer of those data into the database of DigiFund Manager. Both processes are only partly shown as they take too long for this demo. Now I will interrupt the recording and restart it when the transfer of CSI data to our own database begins. Now I restart the recording after the secure download from CSI is finished. I interrupt the recording again until the finishing of the transfer process is really finished. So you see that on the progress bar. It's just beginning, and I'll restart the recording again when it is at the end. So we are now approaching the end of the update, and we are going to click Finish, which is over here. At the end of the update, the program returns to the Data Collection tab. All entries in this window are updated. A schedule is shown for the next update, Saturday, February 24th. The middle column shows that we now have 6864 active stocks in our database. Some 46 stocks have become inactive during our license period, but are kept there for not giving rise to additional survivor buyers in our output statistics. The upper chart on the right hand side shows that some 500 of these stocks were already active in 1980, some 38 years ago. The lower chart shows the volatility since December 1961, calculated from our monkey index. This index we generate by making each week 500 random picks equally weighted. This brings us at the end of the data collection process. After this update, we click on the Watchlist tab. There we go. This window shows two columns. The left column shows the existing watchlist present in the database. By clicking on one of them, like Microsoft, this one is activated and lightly colored blue. Under this column, one finds three buttons: Delete, Edit, and Export. Click on either one of these and see indeed that they perform those functions on the activated watchlist. The right column shows the watchlist details. Scan this summary for yourself. When you want to configure a new watchlist from scratch, click on the New button or Edit button. I'm going to click on the New button, and here is the window, the screen that you see, and maximize the screen. In the watchlist editor, expand the various sectors of interest into industries and select from these what you want. So I'm going to expand them, and I say I don't want this one, I don't want basic materials, and I don't want financials, for instance, and I transfer them to the center column. Then make your final selection. Say I don't want this stock, I don't want this stock, and I don't want this stock, and you go on, and then transfer them to the right column. Finally, give your watchlist a new name, like blah blah blah, and save it. So click Save. Click OK, and here you see it appearing, where it is, the blah 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 watch list, in the loaded watch list of your database. Click Delete to remove it and click OK. You may also import a watch list from a text or a CSV file. Just click Import, click whether it's a text or a CSV file, select any one and click Open. But we're not going to do that, we cancel that. Finally, you can click on From S&P 500. What this does is you refresh the SP 500 watchlist with the current members of the S&P 500. This finalizes the watchlist step and the second part of our demo. Thank you.